Take one slow breath. Right now, the world is moving fast, but here, everything slows down. This is your quiet space, a place for slow English and clear thinking. No noise, no pressure, no distraction. Just simple language, deep ideas, and steady growth. Stay with me. Let us begin. It is easy to feel overwhelmed by distractions. In our busy lives, there are many things that pull our attention. A phone buzzes with a message. A notification flashes on a screen. The world is full of noise. It can be hard to focus on one task. Sometimes we sit down to work. We have a plan, but then we find ourselves scrolling through social media. We tell ourselves, just a few minutes. But those minutes turn into hours. Before we know it, the time we wanted to spend on our work is gone. This can be frustrating. It can also make us feel guilty. Feeling guilty can create a cycle of distraction. We think, I should be working, but then we find it even harder to concentrate. We start to doubt our ability to stay focused. We wonder if we will ever get it right. This is a common experience. Many people go through it. Discipline is not always easy. It requires effort and patience. When we try to focus, it can feel uncomfortable. We may face resistance from our own minds. Thoughts wander. Tasks seem harder than they are. This is a normal part of the process. It does not mean we are failing. It means we are human. When we sit in silence trying to concentrate, our minds can feel chaotic. It is as if they are searching for something to hold on to. In those moments, it can be helpful to take a deep breath. A simple breath can bring a bit of calm. It reminds us to return to the present. We might try to create a space for focus, a quiet room, a clean desk. But even in those spaces, distractions can find us. A car horn outside, a ticking clock. This is the reality of life. It is not always perfect. It is not always quiet. Sometimes we might set a timer. We say, I will work for 20 minutes. But then, halfway through, our minds start to wander again. We may feel frustrated. Yet this is also part of learning. Each time we notice our mind drifting, we have a chance to practice coming back. It is a small victory. There will be days when focus feels out of reach. On those days, it is easy to give up. But it is important to remember that discipline is built over time. It is not about being perfect every moment. It is about showing up even when it is hard. Each time we try again, we are learning. Each time we return to our work, we are strengthening our ability to focus. It may feel slow. It may feel imperfect. But with each effort, we slowly build a habit. This habit is not always easy. It takes time and patience. As we learn to focus without distraction, we may find small moments of clarity. In those moments, we remember why we started. We remember the satisfaction of completing a task. It is in these quiet reflections that we can find peace, even amidst the noise of life. Sometimes the hardest part is just sitting down. We may have all the tools we need, but the act of starting can feel heavy. The chair feels uncomfortable. The screen looks blank. It is easy to feel stuck. This is a common experience. Many people know this feeling. In those moments, self-doubt can creep in. We may ask ourselves, am I really capable of doing this? The answer is not always clear. It can feel like a weight pressing down. We may even choose to avoid the task altogether. We might clean the house or organize our desk instead. These actions can feel productive, but they are often just distractions. Life is full of choices. Each choice can lead us down a different path. We might choose to focus on our work, or we might choose to scroll through our phones. Each choice has its own consequences. When we choose distraction, we might feel a moment of relief, but later we often feel regret. This is part of the struggle. Getting back to work after a distraction can feel like climbing a hill. It requires energy and effort. We might think, why is this so hard? The truth is, focus does not come easily. It is a skill we develop over time. It is not automatic. It takes practice. When we finally get back to our task, we may feel a sense of tension. Our minds are still racing from the distractions. Thoughts jump from one idea to another. It can feel overwhelming. At this point, it is helpful to remember that it is okay to feel this way. It does not mean we are failing. It just means we are human, navigating a complicated world. As we sit there, trying to focus, we might notice our breathing. It can become shallow or quick. Taking a moment to breathe deeply can help ground us. It brings us back to the present. This act of breathing is simple but powerful. It reminds us that we are here, right now. Sometimes, as we work, we may have small successes. We write a few sentences. We create a plan. Each small step can feel rewarding. But then, there are also setbacks. We may lose our train of thought. We may get stuck. It is easy to feel discouraged. Yet each setback is also a chance to learn. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about showing up, even when it feels difficult. Every time we return to our work, we are practicing. We are building our ability to focus. It may not feel smooth. It may feel messy. But that is part of the process. In the quiet moments, we can reflect on our progress. Even when it is slow, we are moving forward. We are learning to navigate the distractions of life. Each time we try again, we remind ourselves that focus is a journey. It is not a destination. Sometimes, despite our efforts, we find ourselves drifting again. The mind can be restless. Thoughts pull us in different directions. It is easy to lose sight of what we intended to do. This is a common struggle for many. When this happens, we might feel frustration rise within us. We think, I should be better at this. This feeling is natural. We want to be focused and productive. Yet the reality is that focus is not always a straight path. It is often filled with bumps and turns. In these moments, we might try to push ourselves harder. We might tell ourselves to concentrate more. But that pressure can create even more distraction. Instead of helping, it can make us feel more anxious. It is important to recognize this cycle. A quieter approach can sometimes help. Instead of fighting against our wandering thoughts, we can acknowledge them. I notice I am thinking about something else. This simple recognition can be freeing. It allows us to step back and breathe. After naming the distraction, we may find it easier to return to our work. It is not about forcing focus. It is about gently guiding ourselves back. This process takes time, and it is not always easy. Each time we practice, we are building a stronger connection to our tasks. There are days when we feel more successful than others. On those days, we might lose track of time. Hours pass, and we feel engaged. But there are also days when focus seems impossible. Those moments can feel heavy. They remind us that discipline is not a simple task. On days filled with distractions, it is easy to feel like giving up. We might think, what is the point? But even in those moments, there is value. Each attempt to refocus is a step forward, no matter how small. It is a quiet act of perseverance. Sometimes the act of just sitting down again is a victory. It shows a commitment to the task. It shows that we are willing to try, even when it is hard. This willingness is part of the journey. It is how we learn about ourselves. During those times of struggle, we may also feel alone. It can seem like everyone else is focused and productive, but that is often an illusion. Many people face similar challenges. We are not as different as we think. When we take a moment to reflect, we may find comfort in knowing that we are all learning. Each person has their own battles with focus. Some days are better than others. As we continue to practice, we may also discover that focus can be fluid. It is not always steady. There may be moments of clarity followed by moments of distraction. This ebb and flow is normal. It teaches us to be gentle with ourselves. In the quiet spaces where we try to concentrate, we can cultivate patience. We may not see immediate results, but over time, small changes can lead to growth. It is in the gradual process that we find strength. Sometimes, just returning to the task is enough. It might not feel perfect, but it is a step toward improvement. Each effort we make is a building block. Slowly, we create a foundation for focus. In those moments of hesitation, we can remind ourselves that it is okay to be imperfect. Life is not about perfection. It is about progress. Each time we come back to our work, we are learning. We are choosing to engage with our goals, even in the face of distraction. Sometimes, We might find ourselves distracted by our surroundings. The sound of the television in the other room, the chatter of people nearby, even the ticking of a clock can pull our focus away. In those moments, it can feel like we are fighting against the world. We might think, if only it were quieter. But life is often filled with noise. It is not always easy to find a peaceful space. This is a truth many people face. The environment is not always under our control. In those noisy moments, we may try to drown out the distractions. We might put on headphones or play music. But sometimes, that adds another layer of distraction. It can feel overwhelming. We may ask ourselves, will I ever be able to focus? This question can linger in our minds. The reality is that focus is often about acceptance. Accepting that distractions are part of life. Accepting that our minds will wander. This acceptance does not mean we give up. It means we acknowledge the challenge. It is a mixture of frustration and understanding. When we notice our thoughts drifting, we have a choice. We can become upset, or we can gently guide ourselves back. It is not easy to choose the latter. It requires a kind of self-compassion, a reminder that we are trying our best. As we practice returning to our work, we may start to see patterns. Some days are filled with clarity. Other days are filled with confusion. Each day is different. This is part of the journey. It can feel slow, but that is normal. In moments of distraction, we might feel a wave of guilt. We think about the time lost. We think about the tasks left unfinished. This guilt can weigh heavily. Yet it is important to remember that everyone experiences this. We are not alone in our struggles. Sometimes we can find comfort in those moments of distraction. They remind us that we are human. We have thoughts, feelings, and responsibilities. It is okay to feel overwhelmed. It is okay to take a step back. When we allow ourselves to feel these emotions, we open the door to understanding. We start to recognize our limits. We learn when to push ourselves and when to take a break. This can be a delicate balance. It requires patience and self-awareness. In the quiet moments of reflection, we might find clarity. We can think about what truly matters. We can consider our goals and aspirations. This reflection is important. It helps us reconnect with our purpose. As we sit down to work again, we might notice a shift, a small change in our mindset. It may feel like a fresh start. This feeling can be empowering, yet it is not always consistent. Some days, the cycle of distraction returns. When this happens, it is easy to feel defeated. We might think, why can't I just focus? But it is important to remind ourselves that focus is a skill. It takes time to develop. It is not a quick fix. Each attempt is a part of the process. The act of returning to our task is a sign of growth. It shows resilience. It shows that we are willing to face the discomfort. In those moments, we may find a deeper understanding of ourselves. We learn about our strengths and weaknesses. As we continue on this path, we may discover small joys in our work, a moment of insight, a sense of accomplishment. These small victories can be encouraging. They remind us why we started. They give us hope for the days ahead. Yet, it is also important to accept the setbacks. They are part of life. They teach us valuable lessons. Each time we stumble, we learn a bit more about our habits. We learn about our responses to distractions. In the end, focus is not about perfection. It is about the willingness to engage. It is about the courage to try again, even when it is difficult. Each moment spent trying is a step toward progress. Sometimes, even when we feel ready to work, we find ourselves hesitating. The chair feels too hard. The screen seems too bright. Small things can become distractions. We might start looking for excuses. Maybe we need a snack. Perhaps we should check the weather. These moments can feel like a small battle within ourselves. This is a normal part of the process. It is easy to think that we should just be able to start. Yet the truth is that many people feel this way. Starting is often the hardest part. It can feel uncomfortable. We may question our choices. Why can't I just begin? This question can linger in our minds. In those moments, it can help to recognize the discomfort. It is okay to feel it. We might remind ourselves that feeling uneasy is part of trying to focus. It does not mean we are failing. It means we are pushing against our own habits. It is a sign that we are reaching for something better. As we sit there, the urge to check our phones may grow stronger. We might tell ourselves, just a quick look. But that quick look can lead us down a long path of distraction. Suddenly, we are lost in a sea of posts and pictures. This is another common experience. When we realize what has happened, we might feel frustration again. Why do I keep doing this? It is easy to fall into a cycle of guilt. We want to be productive, we want to focus, yet distractions are often stronger than our will. This is a truth many face. In those moments, it can be helpful to pause, take a breath, acknowledge what has happened. Instead of fighting against it, we can gently bring our attention back. It is not about blaming ourselves. It is about understanding the process. Each time we notice a distraction, we have an opportunity to practice returning. This process is not always quick or easy. It takes time to build the skill of focus. Each attempt is a step forward, even if it feels small. We are learning to navigate our own minds. It requires patience. It requires kindness toward ourselves. As we reflect on our efforts, we may notice patterns. Some days, we feel more focus. Other days, distractions pull us away. This ebb and flow is normal. It reminds us that focus is not a fixed state. It can change from moment to moment. In those times of struggle, it can help to remember that we are not alone. Many people experience the same challenges. It is part of the human experience. We are all learning to balance our attention in a busy world. Each effort counts, even if it feels small. Sometimes, during those quiet moments of reflection, we might find a spark of motivation. It can come from remembering our goals. It can come from recalling times when we felt truly engaged. These memories can serve as gentle reminders of what we are capable of. Yet it is also important to accept the reality of distractions. They are a part of life. It is easy to wish for a distraction-free environment, but that is often unrealistic. Instead, we can learn to work with the distractions. It is a skill we develop over time. Every time we return to our task, we are building resilience. We learn to acknowledge the distractions, but not let them control us. This practice is quiet and slow. It may not feel dramatic, but it is meaningful. In the end, it is about being present with ourselves. With each effort, we create a space for focus. It may not be perfect, but it is real. Each moment spent trying is a testament to our willingness to grow. This journey is filled with ups and downs. It is part of being human. Sometimes we may find ourselves staring at our tasks, feeling a weight in our chests. The ideas are there, but they feel distant. It is as if they are hiding. We might think, why can't I just pull them out? This feeling can be frustrating. It reminds us that even when we want to focus, our minds can be uncooperative. In those moments, it is easy to lose confidence. We might wonder if we are cut out for the work we are trying to do. Maybe I'm not meant to be focused. This thought can creep in quietly, filling our minds with doubt. It is a feeling many people share. It is part of the struggle. When we face this uncertainty, we may try to force ourselves to concentrate. We might tell ourselves to push through, but that pressure often leads to more distraction. Instead of helping, it can make everything feel heavier. It is important to acknowledge this cycle. Recognizing it can be the first step toward peace. There may be times when we feel restless, our legs fidget, and our minds race. We might think, I need to do something. This urge to move can pull us away from our work. But it is okay to feel restless. It is a reminder that we are human. It is not a sign of failure. It is a part of the experience. As we sit there, we might notice the urge to seek comfort. We may look for an easy escape. Scrolling through our phones or checking emails can feel like a relief. But that relief is often temporary. It can take us further from our goals. It is a truth that many recognize. In those moments, it can help to pause, to breathe, to simply be with the discomfort. This practice of sitting with our feelings is not always easy. It requires patience. We might find ourselves wanting to rush through it, but sometimes slowing down can be the most beneficial approach. When we allow ourselves to feel the discomfort, we may begin to understand it. We can ask ourselves, what is it that I really need right now? This question may lead to insights. We may discover that we are tired or overwhelmed. Understanding these feelings can help us navigate through them. Sometimes it is about recognizing that focus is not a fixed state. It can shift and change. Some days will be clearer than others. On those days, we may feel a flow. But on other days, we might feel stuck. This is normal. It is part of the ebb and flow of discipline. As we continue to practice, we may find that small moments of clarity appear. They come unexpectedly, like brief flashes of light in a cloudy sky. These moments can remind us why we are working. They can give us a sense of purpose. Yet, they are often fleeting. After these moments, distractions may return. We might feel frustration again. Why can't I hold on to that focus? This question can linger. It is a reminder that focus is a skill, not a permanent state. Each time we return to our task, we are practicing. We are building a habit. In the quiet of our thoughts, we may recognize the importance of self-compassion. It is okay to struggle. It is okay to feel distracted. Every person faces these challenges. Accepting this can create a softer space for ourselves. It allows us to move forward without the weight of guilt. When we find ourselves drifting again, we might feel the urge to fight against it. But instead, we can choose to acknowledge it. I notice I am distracted. This simple recognition can bring a bit of calm. It reminds us that we are aware. We are present with ourselves, even in the midst of distraction. As we navigate through these moments, we might also notice the value of small steps. Each time we return to our work, we are making progress. It may not feel significant, but we are building a foundation for focus. It may feel slow, but every little effort counts. It is easy to forget this when distractions pull at us. Sometimes we may find ourselves in a cycle of trying to focus, getting distracted, and then feeling guilty. This cycle can feel frustrating. It can make us question our abilities. We might think, why can't I just focus? It is a feeling many people know well. When we face these moments, it helps to remember that discipline is not a straight line. It is full of ups and downs. Some days, we might feel sharp and engaged. Other days, we might struggle to find our footing. This is part of the human experience. As we sit down to work, we might feel the weight of our thoughts. They can feel heavy, like a cloud hanging over us. It is in these moments that we might want to avoid the task altogether. We may think, I will do it later. But later often turns into more distraction. In those times, it is okay to acknowledge our feelings. It is okay to feel stuck. This awareness can be the first step to moving forward. When we recognize our emotions, we give ourselves permission to be human. Sometimes, just sitting with the discomfort can help. We might breathe deeply and allow ourselves to feel present. This act of grounding can remind us that we are here, even if our minds are wandering. As we continue to practice focus, we may notice small victories, writing a few sentences, completing a task. These moments can bring a sense of accomplishment, but they can also be followed by setbacks. It is easy to feel discouraged when things do not go as planned. In those moments, it is helpful to remember that discipline is built through practice. It is not about being perfect. It is about returning to our work even when it feels hard. Each time we try again, we are learning what works for us. Sometimes, we may find ourselves caught in a loop of negative thoughts. I can't do this. I am not good enough. These thoughts can be overwhelming. Yet, it is important to recognize that they are just thoughts. They do not define our abilities. When we notice these thoughts, we can take a step back. We can remind ourselves of our progress. We can remember the times we have succeeded, even in small ways. This reflection can help shift our mindset. As we sit with our tasks, we might feel the urge to escape. The pull of distraction can feel strong. In those moments, it is okay to pause, to breathe, to acknowledge the urge without judgment. This practice of self-compassion can ease the pressure. We might also find that our environment affects our focus. A noisy room, a cluttered desk. These distractions are real. They can make it harder to concentrate. Yet we cannot always control our surroundings. Instead, we can learn to work with them. Accepting the noise can create a sense of peace. It allows us to focus on what we can control, our response to the distractions. This acceptance does not mean we give up. It means we acknowledge the challenge. In the quiet moments of focus, we may find clarity. We can reflect on our goals and motivations. This reflection can be grounding. It reminds us why we are doing this work in the first place. As we continue on this path, we may notice that focus requires patience. It is a skill that takes time to develop. Each attempt is part of the journey. It is not always easy, but it is meaningful. Sometimes, we might feel overwhelmed by the tasks ahead. We may think, how will I ever get this done? In those moments, it can help to break things down. One small step at a time can lead to progress. Yet even small steps can feel heavy. The mind may resist. Sometimes we find ourselves at the end of a long day. We sit in silence, reflecting on what we have accomplished. Or perhaps we think about the distractions that pulled us away. It can feel like a mixed bag. Some moments were productive, while others were filled with interruptions. In those quiet moments, we may feel a sense of relief. We made it through the day, despite the challenges. But we might also feel a nagging thought. Could I have done better? This question can linger. It reminds us of our desire for focus and achievement. Yet it is important to recognize that every day is different. Some days we flow with our tasks. Other days we struggle to stay on track. This is part of being human. It is a truth we often forget in our pursuit of discipline. As we sit with these thoughts, we may find a sense of peace in acceptance. Accepting that distractions are part of our reality can be freeing. It allows us to acknowledge our feelings without judgment. We are not alone in this struggle. When we reflect on our efforts, we might also notice growth. Each time we return to our work, even after a distraction, we are learning. We are slowly building our ability to focus. This process is not fast. It is often slow and imperfect. But that is okay. In the quiet of our minds, we may find a deeper understanding of ourselves. We learn what pulls us away and what brings us back. Each moment spent trying is a testament to our resilience. We are navigating a complicated world, and that takes courage. As we end the day, we can take a moment to breathe, to feel the weight of our efforts. It is okay to feel tired. It is okay to feel proud of what we have done, even if it is not perfect. Each day is a step on our journey. Sometimes just sitting with those feelings is enough. It is a reminder that we are trying. We are learning to focus amidst the noise. This journey may feel long, but it is ours.